So, first, shall we talk about your creative process and your music? So, what are
Yeah, yeah.
some interesting facets of being a musician outside of the actual music producing that you do? What other parts of the process are there that are outside of the obvious making it?
I think one of the best thing about making music is just like to make music around people, like with people.
Mm-hmm.
Making music is just fun. Like,
Yeah.
just do whatever you want. Like, you're free to do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why most people do art or like be
Yeah,
creative, I guess. Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. I also tend to make music myself. It's always been on a
Oh, really?
more like traditional. I play like the flute and the piano, but I think those like music spaces where you're creating with other people can be really important.
Are you like a classical musician?
Yeah, I'd say so. I've always
That's
wanted to make more, but it's
that's
really
nice.
impressive that you can. Yeah, producing's not never been my strong point.
Yeah, I'm learning as much as I can too. I'm not I won't say I'm like the best. So
How did you learn to produce music?
I just it's just like do like try things around, and then I've been producing for a year now, so it's just really
Oh,
been like just watching YouTube videos and then like finding as much information as I can get, and then like if you like something, like I'm pretty sure like you would learn it.
about your single Polar, which I listened to, and it's really great, by the way.
Thank you,
How
thank
did
you
it
so
feel
much.
having your own music video for the song?
It was great. Polar was my it's like the first official MV that I actually did. Like, it was so, it was like kind of like half serious because
Mm-hmm.
there was so many people working in it, and then I just feel so like grateful that there's so many people working under this project which I made. So I'm like, it's very nice. I had like Mao Xiao, which is who is like the director for that MV. She's like
Oh,
my high school friend. I
mm-hmm.
had I had a few dancers who are like incredible dancers. Alex, Pete. I had a stylist, found. I had like amazing people around me, like the actress too. She was so amazing. Like, just like the experience in overall, it was very like it really humbled me, and then it taught me so much. Like, there's so much things that you can do by yourself, but there are way many more things that you can do when you're surrounded by other people.
Yeah, definitely. And how did it feel to be like on the set and be there on your the production of your first official music video?
It felt great. Like, like it felt like I was kind of tired. Like,
Mhm.
while doing it, I was really tired. But then, yeah, just in general, I was like, I felt, because it was kind of like a DIY thing. Like, we didn't have a lot of like workforce,
Yeah.
so like it was kind of like a DIY. Then you have to think as you work on the music video. It was a lot of work, but then at the end of the day, it's like you don't really care about how tired you are at that point, because it's just like that's what I've been wanting to do for my like for in music, like
Yeah.
just making a music video. That's honestly one of the best things ever.
Is music always something that you wanted to do then, or is it a newfound thing?
Yeah, I would say it's new. Like, I didn't really know what I wanted to do until 12th grade, and then I started like uh at some point I realized, while I was making music with my friends, I realized like, yo, uh I just really like listening to music, and I just really like doing music, and I
Yeah.
realized, oh, like maybe that's what I'm built for. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
not, there's really no like story, like cool story behind it.
So, what do you enjoy most about your current lifestyle while you're making music?
This lifestyle is not too different from something you would do like at school. I,
Mm.
I think it's quite of the same thing. The only difference is that nobody's there to tell you like what to do. So
Yeah.
you have to figure that all by yourself, which is
Yeah.
kind of tough. The only difference is that you would you would just have to figure everything out by yourself, and you would just have to be disciplined. Like you would have to discipline yourself.
Yeah. Do you have a specific like creative process that you go through while you're making music?
I would say it's just a matter of feeling. Like if you're, sometimes I would have to make it become a routine. But then if I really feel like I'm not making music, then I just won't, and I would just do something else. It's really hard to describe the process, because it's just about like once you try something creatively, like you're really like in it. I'm not trying to be too like preachy, because
Yeah.
it sounds very like but then it's how it is. Like you just go into the process and you don't think, you just do.
So is there like a really remarkable or memorable moment in your music career that you'd like to share?
Well, Polar for a fact. There was this one, I made like a concert once with my friends Ren Evans and Brown. Like we were in high school and we were in 12th grade, right? Was 12th grade like, would you say like it's the hardest year for you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's really tough, for real. You know, like it was like the toughest year, and we had to really like focus on like school. Like that's what every teacher say, which is like you know, makes sense. And but then like, you know, like on the sideline, like on the side, like we were like, me and my friends were trying to organize like a concert and inviting a bunch of people to come to the concert, like people in Vietnam, like locals, and to just like to perform for us for free. And it was like such a hard task because we didn't have like a big circle, like a big connection. So we really struggled. And then at the same time, we were really under pressure by like, our teachers and our like parents. Like, you better have good grades, you better like have like your plan, you better like figure out what to do next year and stuff like that. It was so it was like really tough. But then yeah, I think we made it through that. And then at the end of the concert, I remember like hugging my friends, and then out of nowhere, like we started crying all together, which is really weird. But then it was because like it was so hard. There was so much hard work, so we just cried together. I think that's like the best moment so far. There's so many other moments that I can't really talk about because there's so many. But most moments are like just making music with people, like connecting with new people and like understanding new perspective, all of that.
Okay, so next we're going to talk about some of your experience in the industry, especially being in Vietnam. So Anne wrote most of these questions. So you mentioned that you like to talk about being Asian. Can you talk a little more about this?
I just feel like being Asian is kind of like, for me, it feels like you're the underdog of everything, because in an international like scene, like not a lot of people really recognize like Asian stuff. So I don't know, I just think it's like a cool thing to talk about. And also because I'm not really like, culturally, I'm not really like a traditional Asian person. So I'm just like trying to like talk about it being Asian, like nothing too deep about it. I'm just like describing like, oh, like this is how I feel.
Are there any specific like songs or artists that you've really been listening to in terms of Vietnamese music?
Honestly, like I've just been listening to do you know Mi Anh? Is one of my friends.
Oh,
So
right.
like, yeah, I'm listening to like Mi Linh, who's like one of the most iconic figures in Vietnam. Just really listening to like old stuff, because I feel like that's where like most cool things are. And then I listen to like a few like locals here, like MC Key, Logi, like rappers in general.
Generally, you rap in English, but as you operate like in Vietnam and in the Vietnamese sphere, have you ever been criticized for not like making Vietnamese music or not being Vietnamese enough, possibly?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wouldn't say criticize, because like, I mean, I think there are expectations of me doing Vietnamese, because at the same time, like my goal in music right now is trying to climb like the industry over here. So yeah, it is like a criticism, but I think it's in a good way, you know. But yeah, a lot of times I feel like I don't fit in here at all, because I was raised in a very like Western environment. It's very like tough, I would say. But then, you know, like I think that's just how people are brought up differently. And then, you know, like if you want something, then you just like try your best for it. So
where do you want your music to go in the future? Do you have any specific goals or aspirations for your music, or like where can you see your music going in the future?
Well, as of right now, I'm trying to build my music in here. So in a few years, I'm expecting to I'm trying to find myself a label, like a big one, trying to like, you know, work with like big people to just be recognized in the scene. And then after that, I wanted to, you know, go international, because while it is good to be in here, like I think my music speaks for I think it speaks better in English.
Is there anything that you'd like to say to other Indian independent artists, and anything that you want to say to our readers?
If you have any type of goals or like objectives or things that you feel like you want to get, then just go for it. And then don't be afraid to lose things along the way, and don't be afraid of change. I'm honestly not the best person that people should take advice from. So please take it with a pinch of salt. Right.
What are you working on at the moment?
As of now, I'm working on another song, another solo. It's gonna be I'm very excited for it, because I'm working with a really big director.
Very nice.
For this music video. So I'm really hoping to get some good, like, you know, some good feedback on it and stuff. For a record, I just want to say, like, I checked you guys like a website and all that, and I think it's really amazing what you guys are doing. Like I really like, I'm really on the same like side of what you guys are talking about. Like I really understand that point of view, and you know, I just want to say like it's cool. And plus the website is really like well designed. So whoever drew that is amazing. I think it's one of the girl in my school. So shout out to her.
Well, thank you very much for coming and doing this interview. It was really great talking to you.
Yeah, it was great talking to you too.